Hello everyone. In this video, let us discuss about the NumPy for the data science beginners. Why do I start with NumPy? So we all know that the Python is the easiest programming language for the data science domain. So when we talk about Python, there are several packages like NumPy, Pandas, Matplotlib, Seaborn, and sklearn. So in this video, I'm going to give you a clear picture on NumPy and how we can use this NumPy. So let us start the session now. This is Premalata. I am a data scientist and AI researcher. So let us start the session now. So what is NumPy? So if you ask me, like most of the data scientists are a big fan of NumPy library in Python. Why so? Because we have relied on it countless times during data science journey to perform all the tasks. So let me tell you what is NumPy. NumPy is the short form of numerical Python. So NumPy handles large data sets effectively and efficiently. So as a data scientist or as an data science professional, we need to have a solid grasp on NumPy and how it works with the Python. So as I told you, NumPy means numerical Python, and it is the most useful scientific libraries in Python programming. So it provides support for large multidimensional array objects and various tools to work with them. So there are other libraries like Pandas, Matplotlib, sklearn, and Seaborn, which are built on top of these libraries, right? So the arrays are the collection of elements or the values that can have one or more dimensions. And an array uh, of one dimension is called a vector, while having two dimensions is called a matrix. So NumPy arrays are called ND array or n-dimensional arrays, and they store elements of the same type and size. It is known for its high performance and provides efficient storage and data operations as arrays grow in size. So no need to install it again. When you download Anaconda prompt, it comes along with that, right? So let us try to uh, jump into this NumPy package. So how to write this heading basically? So you can write a single hashtag or two hashtags or three hashtags, however you want. Go to cell, select cell type, give markdown, and then you can run this cell. So what is the shortcut key for giving this run? Run can be given by shift and enter. Okay, so let us start with this now. Whenever you want to work with NumPy, the first step is that you have to import NumPy. So import NumPy as NP, right? And then I'm going to create an array now. So first I have created a list. So simple underscore list, which is equal to 679, and I'm writing np.array simple underscore list. So let me run the cell and run the cell again. So I'm getting this as the output now. So let me show you one more thing. Like in case if I replace this with this symbol, and like let me also do it over here, what you can see is let me change this. You can see that there is a syntax error saying that it cannot assign to operator. So keep this point in your mind. whenever you assign it, you have to be very much careful that you are not supposed to give any operators over here, then it will not work. So let me run this again. We are getting the same issue. And then let me replace this with underscore now. So when I replace this with underscore, it will definitely work. So let me write some number over here. Let me show you what is happening now. So again, there will be the same problem, right? So it should not start with a number, and also it should not have any operator over there, right? So this is what you have to keep it in mind. So I have used another way also to create an array. ARR equal to np dot array 1 2 3, and when I run this is the output I'm getting. So in case if I want to create multi-dimension, I can write like 1 2 3 one list, 4 5 6 is the other list, 7 8 9 is the next list, and I am creating an array on list of lists. So when I run this, I'm getting this output. So this is one row, this is second row, this is third row, and I have three columns also. So here you can see that 1 2 3 that I'm getting as the first one, 4 5 6 as the second one, 7 8 9 as the second one, right? So let me clear all the outputs. So if I run and explain that, that would be better. So these all things we have already worked. So then what I have written is np dot arrange 5 comma 23. So when I run this, I get output as 5 6 7 8 9 up to 22. So what is the point that we have to note here? So whatever you specify over here, the last number you will not get, you'll be getting the previous one. So I have not specified any step value over here. So what is happening here? It is getting increased by one. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, right? So let me show you another one example. So it would be clearly understandable. So let me make it as 28. So what would be the output now? Yes. So we will be getting output from 5 to 27 now, right? So now I'm specifying a step value over here. The step value I have assigned it as 6. Okay. So when I run this, I get output as 5. The step value is given as 6. So I'm getting 5 plus 6 equal to 11. 11 plus 6 equal to 17. 17 plus 6 equal to 23. 23 plus 6 equal to 29. Now you can see 29 plus 6 is equal to 35. I'm not getting that as the output because we know very well that like a 35 will not appear, right? So in case if I make the change to 36, definitely I can get the output as 35, right? So hope this is clear. So when I write np dot zeros and 10, I'm getting 10 zeros over here. Here the point to be noted is I'm getting the output in float, right? 0 point, 0 point. So if you have any doubt regarding the data type, you can take my video that is about the data structures and data types. There you can look into that and you can get a clear idea about it, right? So np dot zeros step, right? So this is what I'm getting. Say for example, I want the output to be in integer. So how can I do this, right? How can I do this? So I may not know how to do this. So what is the way to do that? You can press shift and tab. So a help box will open. Just you click on this plus. You can see each and everything about the string, the parameters, and also you can see some examples, right? So here np.05, if we give that, we will be getting the output in terms of float. In case if I want to convert it into integer, what I can do now, I can write like comma d type is equal to int. When I do that, I get the output in terms of integer, right? So now can you predict the output? Yes. So np dot ones 5 comma, right? So definitely I'll be getting 5 ones now, 5 ones now, and the data type is actually the integer. Here when we write zeros, so in case if I do not specify this d type equal to int, what I will be getting? I'll be getting the output in terms of float, right? So np dot 1s 2 comma 5. So when I do this, what I'm getting now, I'm getting an output that data type not understood. So basically what I am expecting is over I want 2 rows, 5 columns of ones, 2 rows and 5 columns of ones. But what I'm getting here, data type not understood. So how can I get to know that? I can press this shift and tab, and let me look into this. So one idea is that people put this in Stack Overflow, and from there they will try to get, or you can refer to Jigs4Jigs or any website that is explaining all these concepts. So this is what I have chosen. What I could figure out is there could be 2 brackets, that could be the error over here. So I'm writing 2 brackets now. Let me run this cell now. Yes, I'm getting 2 rows and 5 columns. So let me try the same idea, whether it is working for integer. Yes, it is working. I'm getting 2 rows and 5 columns of ones, right? So the next one is about np dot linspace 0, 20, 10. So what is happening here? The number of values should be 10, and it should start from 0 to 20. So the first number is 0, the last one is 20, and totally how many elements are there? 10 are there. It is being equally divided. Linspace means I'm getting equally distributed data points. So I can say that 0, 2.2222. Now add 2.222 with 2.222, we will be getting 4.444, plus 2.222, we will be getting 6.6667, right? Plus 2.22, we will be getting 8.888, right? So this is what we are getting. Now, in case if I write np dot linspace 0, 10, 8, can you guess it now? Yes, you are right. So what do we get over here now? There would be 8 output, and it starts from 0 to 10, right? So this is what we will be getting. And if I write np dot I, and I have specified data type equal to int, so what I'm getting? I'm getting an identity matrix. Hope it is clear, right? So if I remove this, I'm going to get this in the float format, right? If I change this to 10, I'm going to get 10 cross 10 identity matrix, right? So if I delete this, what is going to happen? I'll be getting the output in float, right? Okay, so the next one is about np dot random dot ran 2, 4. So let us understand this. So what you can get over here, we are getting some random numbers. So let me run the cell once again. Again, the numbers are changed. Again, the numbers are changed. But what you can figure out is in all the cases, what I'm getting is I'm getting numbers ranging from 0 to 1. So let me try to understand this in detail. Let me open the help box by pressing shift and tab. So this is what I'm getting. From that, I could see that we get the random samples from a uniform distribution over 0, 1. So that is what happening here. So I'm getting 2 rows, 4 columns. So this would be first column, second column, third column, fourth column, and I am getting random integers from 0 to 1. So again, if you look into these two, you can see that there is n over here. So np dot random dot rand n, right? So if I run this, I'm getting the negative numbers. I'm getting numbers, positive numbers greater than 1 also. So let us try to understand what it is. So what is happening over here? We are getting a sample from the standard normal distribution, right? Standard normal distribution. This is what we are getting. In case if you write np dot random dot rand n, let me copy this code and let me try it out. You can see that just randomly I'm getting a number over here, right? So when I specify 2, 4, I'm getting 2 rows and 4 columns. I'm getting a sample for standard normal distribution, right? So what does that mean? Basically, I'm getting both the positive as well as the negative numbers, right? Fine. The next one, np dot random dot rand 2 comma 7. This is just to make you just to practice you. So you can figure out that uniform distribution 0 to 1, 2 rows and 7 columns. When I write np dot random dot rand int 2 comma 5, you can figure out that it is an integer. We know what are integers. So you can see that like we are getting output as 4. From 2 to 5, it is randomly picking an integer. When I run again, I'm getting 2. Again, I'm getting 4. I may get 2, I may get 3, I may get 4. But is it possible to get 5? I'm getting 2. I'm not getting 5. So hope you remember that rule already, right? So the last digit will not be considered. So again, if I write 20, 56, 100, what is happening? I am getting 100 values now ranging from 20 to 55, right? So the values can be duplicated, but I'm getting values ranging from 20 to 55, right? And the next one, we know what is sample, what we have seen already np dot arrange to comma 20, right? So we have seen np dot arrange. I'm saving this in sample underscore array, which is equal to np dot arrange 2 comma 20. So the output will be from 2 to 19, right? So similarly, what I'm doing, rand underscore array is equal to np dot random dot rand in 0 comma 10 comma 5. So what we can expect now, we can get some random numbers. Totally, there would be 5 output, which is ranging from 0 to 10, right? So I'm getting 2 5s over here. Anything can happen over here, right? 2 1s I'm getting now. And this time, no digits are being repeated. So when I write sample underscore array dot minimum, you can see that I'm getting output as 2. Because in sample underscore array, this is the minimum value, right? If I write dot argmin basically tells me about the position. It tells me about the index. So when I run this, what I'm getting output as 3. So basically I have written for rand underscore array. So rand underscore array means this one. You can see that argmin in the sense here this corresponds to 0, this corresponds to 1, this corresponds to 2, this corresponds to 3. Basically, I want to find out argmin. So this is the minimum position. Minimum index is actually 3. That is what I'm getting as the output, right? Then rand underscore array dot max. So what is the maximum value over here? I'm getting answer as 8. And then sample underscore array dot org max, what is the output? The output is 17. And then if I do the sample underscore array, this is what I'm getting as the output. And in case if I want to get the data type, it is showing that sample underscore array is basically an integer, right? And a is equal to np dot I 5. We know what is I. I is nothing but the identity matrix. Since I have specified 5, I would be getting 5 cross 5 identity matrix. In case if I write dot t, what this t could be, you could figure out, right? What this t could be? T could be a transpose, right? So now in the identity matrix, the transpose is going to be the same. So it is difficult to identify that. So a is equal to np dot random dot ran 2 comma 3. So basically 2 rows and 3 columns. I'm getting uniform distribution over 0 comma 1, right? So this is what I'm getting. Let me write transpose over here. You can see that rows are converted into columns are being converted into rows. So here I had 2 cross 3, here I'm having 3 cross 2, right? So in case if I want to do any reshape, I can do that. So how I can do that? Let me run this code now. 10 comma 22, so I have 10 comma 21. So when I run this cell, I'm getting output as 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 20 21. Why do I get so? Because I have written 4 comma 3, which means 4 rows and 3 columns. Row 1, row 2, row 3, row 4, and column 1, column 2, column 3, right? Right. So let me make this into 4 now. What will happen now? It is throwing an error now. It is saying that cannot reshape array of size 12 into shape 4 comma 4, because I have only 12 elements over here. If I try to reshape into 4 comma 4, it will not work. So in case if I try with 6 comma 2, definitely it will work, right? Fine. So in case if I write sample underscore array 4 colon, what is happening over here? I'm writing 4 colon. So now let us understand 4 colon means basically from fourth row, right? From fourth row. Fourth row means this is 0, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4. From fourth row means this is what I'm getting as the output over here. So in case if I want to change 1 equal to 100, so let me run this and show you what is happening now. So what is happening now? I have given sample underscore array 1 equal to 100. So what is 1 over here? This is 0, this is 1, right? So this is being changed into 100 now. The remaining elements are remaining as such, right? Again, I have written the same thing. And then 10 comma 21, so I'm getting from 10 to 20. 0 colon 10 means what is happening? It will give me the elements of index 0 to 9. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, right? And in case if I write 0 colon 7, from 0 to 6, I would be getting 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I should get till 16. Yes. So in case if I write colon equal to 1001, so what is happening? I'm writing for subset underscore sample underscore array. So this is basically subset underscore sample underscore array. There I want to change all the elements to 1001. So when I run this, all these elements are changed to 1001. Right? Hope it is clear now. In case if I want to make any two-dimensional array, what I have written np.array, and then I have given these lists, and let me run this now. The array is being created. And here I want to get sample matrix 0, 0 and 2 I have written. So let me run this. Let me run all these cells. I'll be explaining that what is happening over here now. So you can see that this 0 corresponds to row and this 2 corresponds to column. So 0th row, second column. So let us look into that now. This is the 0th row. Yes, 0th row. And second column we want 0th column, first column, second column. So this is the second column. That is why we get the output as 2. Clear? And in case if I write sample underscore matrix colon comma 2. So colon comma 2 means colon stands for all rows and 2 stands for the column, right? So this all rows. So it is going to consider all the rows, but which column? The second column. 0th column, first column, and second column. So we get the output as 254 and 24, right? In case if I write it as 1 comma 1, 1 stands for row, this one stands for column. So 0th row, first row, right? So only this will be considered, and then first column, 0th column, first column, right? So the output is 2 over here. In the next case, sample underscore matrix 1 colon 3 2 comma 4, right? So we can write in different ways, right? So 1 colon comma 2 colon. So let us look into this. So as I told you, 1 colon stands for rows and 2 colon stand for column, right? Okay, so 1 column means 0, 1. So basically it considers from all this, and the 2 colon means this stands for column. That is what I said, 0th column, first column, second column. So this would be the output now, 54, 65, 24, and 7. So the same case goes ahead with the sample underscore matrix 2. So what I'm getting now, 2. 2 in the sense, what is happening? Second row. So 0th row, first row, second row. Sorry, second row. So this is what I'm getting as the output, right? Fine. So now let us look into the selection technique. This is being very important. So I have written sample underscore array is equal to np dot arrange, right? Np dot arrange 1 comma 31. So what would be the output now? Yes, 1 to 30, right? So in case if I write sample underscore array plus sample underscore array, what will happen? This will get added up. Yes. Then if I write np.exp, I'll be getting exponential values for all the numbers ranging from 1 to 30. If I write sqrt, I'll be getting the square root from 1 to 30. If I write log, I'll be getting logarithm value. If I write max, 30. If I write min, 1. If I write argmax, we have seen that, right? So it will show as the index of the maximum value. So here it is going to be 29, because this is 0 index, this is going to be 29th index. So in case if I write argmin, that is going to be 0, right? If I write square, I'll be getting square of all the numbers. If I write STD, what we will get? Yes, you are right. We will be getting the standard deviation. Just imagine in the school days how we have struggled with this standard deviation and all, right? We used to write a big formula and we do a lot of calculation, and it was consuming a lot of time, right? So now within by writing 2 lines of code, we are getting the value of standard deviation. Similarly, we can also get variance, and then I can get mean, right? So in case if I want to write like np.random.random 3 comma 4, I'm getting 3 rows and 4 columns. As I told you before, random means normal distribution. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to correct it to certain decimals. So this is what I'm getting, right? So sports is equal to np.array golf, cricket, football, and cricket. So here just I have passed the string. That is why I have put it in the inverted comma, and np.unique sports. So you can see that I'm getting output as cricket, football, and golf. Cricket is already there, so it is just showing me the unique items only, right? So this is a video that tells you clearly about NumPy, how we can use NumPy. Hope this is useful to you. Please use it, and you can subscribe to this channel, and you can also refer this channel to your friends. I hope you got it. Thank you.